Well, thank you for inviting me to speak about the centre. I'm really delighted because it's really the realisation of a vision that I had back in 2018. I wanted to actually, improve awareness, create awareness about implementation research and implementation science. I had used the methodology myself in research, and because I have a very practical nursing background, I'm always interested in how things are implemented in practice and implemented into policy. And of course, that's implementation science is all about. It's about implementation, the process of implementation and how it's done. So back in 2018, the Health Research Institute had some seed funding available to set up research clusters. And I gathered a number of people around me who were interested and had an interest, but also some awareness of implementation science. And at that time, we applied for some seed funding to start the research cluster. The first thing I suppose we wanted to do was create awareness, because even though people were actually using the methodologies and using the frameworks and all of that, they weren't really aware that it was a science a lot of the time. So I suppose the first thing we needed to do was create awareness of our cluster, let people know we existed, but also provide some training and education in the methodologies. So we started that way, and we also connected with people across the world who were experts in the area. For example, King's College in London was one of the first places I went to a conference there to actually inform myself about the work that they were doing. I was also aware of the work of Jeff Kern in Arkansas. He had a Centre for Implementation in Arkansas. I made connection with him because I wanted to invite these experts to UL and help us to actually develop ourselves as a research cluster. So for the first few years, we developed the cluster by creating awareness, having seminars by experts like Laura Dan Schroeder, for example, Jeff Kern. We also invited people to come across the Ireland, really national experts in implementation research, to come and provide us with some workshops, seminars, and we held our own conference here, again, just to create awareness. And from the very beginning, I wanted this cluster to be a multidisciplinary cluster, not just focused on health, because in implementation research, a lot of the work and the publications were done in the area of health. And I wanted to expand our cluster to include and be very inclusive of everybody in the university, because implementation matters to everyone, whether you're in the environment, in justice, whether you're in business, or whether you're in health and well-being or education. So implementation is a cross-cutting methodology, a cross-cutting theme. So after we had created the awareness and we had provided some training and development, and we collaborated with the Centre for Effectiveness Services in Dublin to provide that training, and we had our own conference, as I said. Then we moved to connecting with people like the rep group in the Department of Law, who are actually using implementation science in the area of youth justice. And that was a fantastic collaboration. We worked very well together, and we applied for funding to the Higher Education Authority. So again, this centre would not be in place without that funding and without that collaboration. So it's been a wonderful working relationship between the two clusters, and we formed the centre from that funding. So now the centre, and we will be talking about that in a few minutes, what's going to happen in the future with the centre, but it's a realisation of a vision for me, a multidisciplinary centre, the first in Ireland, and really one of the first in the world that has a multidisciplinary group of researchers working on projects that are related to all different areas of policy in particular. So I suppose that's where I come from in relation to the vision. I'm very excited by it. I'm very happy at this stage in my career to have achieved this vision that I had, this hope that I had that this would happen. And especially I'm delighted that it's situated in UL, supported by UL, and supported by a lot of people across the university and the faculties.